What are some of the risks for doing this strategy? I believe it's helpful to honestly and accurately look at and assess the risks of any potential investment strategy. What some of us like to do is just kind of act like there is no risk. There's very much risk to doing what I'm sharing, but there's risk in everything. You might think, well, there's no risk in having my money sit in the bank, but there is. Your money sitting in the bank in your checkings or savings account is at risk for inflation. If governments just keep printing more money, especially the government you have with your money, if governments just keep printing money, your money simply sits in the bank and you are at risk of inflation. That means you literally could have less spending power when you put your money in the bank compared to when you pull it out of the bank. Therefore, everything has risks, and I believe the key is being aware of the risks and then choosing consciously which ones you'd rather deal with. I personally, with my family, we have thousands of dollars in the bank in cash. And I think it's important to not do something like this unless you do have some cash reserves. I wouldn't suggest putting every bit of cash you have into this because this could be a complete loss. There's many different ways this could be a complete loss. Now, I'm not suggesting that you just don't do it at all, but I recommend knowing ahead of time. Here's one way. You could completely lose all of your money if you lose access to your Poloniex account. That means someone steals it. That means you put the password in a place you don't remember, and then you lose access to your email. You could completely lose all of your money. And that means if you essentially put all of this in, for example, I just bought something here. It says the Shadow Cash team has stopped working on it. Well, in that case, I would like to sell. And sure, I may have just lost a little bit by selling, but that's okay. I can just sell all of the Shadow Cash I have here. So you could lose everything if you lose access to your Poloniex account. You could also lose everything if there's some complete cryptocurrency meltdown. For example, if the US government or maybe the Chinese government decides these are a threat to us, we don't want them anymore, a government like the US government or the Chinese government could effectively ruin a current cryptocurrencies completely by passing a law. If the US government said it's illegal to hold and buy any cryptocurrencies, I would immediately stop messing around with them. I wouldn't sit there and break the law to try and keep participating in these currencies. So how likely are those things? Well, you can assess those for yourself. I don't think it's that likely, or I wouldn't be investing money of mine there. But still, it is in the cards. You could say your money in the bank could melt down too, and the bank could take all your money. The government, you could go pretty far out with these. But it is a worthwhile consideration to consider the possibility that governments may fight against these currencies, and if they do, it could make them nearly worthless. At the same time, if you lose access to your Poloniex account, that won't even matter. Aside from those two, those are big things, but you also could have a theft on the exchange level. The entire exchange could have some problem, whether it's law enforcement raiding it from money laundering, or you could have a hacker group steal all the money on the exchange. Now, some of the exchanges, they work really hard on their security. They're doing everything they can to protect you and themselves, just like anyone else. They don't want their website to get ruined, but exchanges in the past have melted down. So if your exchange melts down specifically, you could lose everything on that exchange. That's why I hedge my bets between Poloniex and Bitfinex, and then I buy my Bitcoin on another website. So among all those different websites, I'm essentially sitting in 3 different positions then. If my Coinbase account gets hacked, for example, then there's not much that can be done with that, because I've got all you could do is try and initiate a transfer, and if I figured out the account got hacked before then, you wouldn't be able to do anything. But that's where I buy my Bitcoin. So I recommend don't tie all your accounts up in the same spot. Poloniex is just an exchange, so you can't actually buy with a fiat currency on Poloniex, which that makes it then, it helps that you don't have that issue to worry about. However, someone cracks my Poloniex account and would need, on Poloniex, you have to have an email confirmation to withdraw. Someone would have to crack my Poloniex account and the email address. And then, sure, someone theoretically could then withdraw my whole Poloniex account. Now, I would get a good laugh at having trolled them, essentially, because you see all these different buys and sells that I do on Poloniex. If someone cracks my account and tries to withdraw all of it, yes, you're going to have to sit there and do all the trades yourself if you want to do it in a one currency, or you're going to have to withdraw all of them. That means if someone cracks my Poloniex account, they're looking at probably an hour or more to go and sell all the individual currencies into my wallet. You're welcome. So that is a possibility. Now, the main thing, an outside hacker is not likely to come take everything from you. Now, sure, outside hackers do, but outside hackers tend to focus on big targets. Why? Because you get a big reward and there's big self-respect. I mean, sure, someone might think it was funny to hack me, but at the same time, the amount of energy it'd take to hack me, you could probably take some big website down with that same amount of energy. And would you rather say, well, I hacked Jerry and, who cares? So who's Jerry? So you say, like, I hacked this big website. Like, now you might be able to get into Anonymous or something. So in other words, one of the ways that you are at risk if you're trading these currencies is that your friends and family members or your associates, the people you normally interact with, if you don't secure your computer very well, it's fairly easy for someone to clean you out. For example, if you're in a college dorm room and you're trading this on your laptop and you get up to go to the bathroom and your roommate's been looking over your shoulder, it'd be very easy for your roommate to just quickly go withdraw everything out of your account and send that over to his account or her account, and it might be difficult for law enforcement to even trace that. Now, if something like that happens, then you would have local law enforcement to help out. The point is, these currencies are just like having cash online. If you go leave your wallet laying around somewhere, someone can pick your wallet up and they've got everything in your wallet. Then these online currencies are not like a credit card where you can just all of a sudden file a dispute and then get your money back that easily. These online currencies, you lose it, you're done. Now, the nice thing is if you have a wallet like Coinbase or something, your US dollar part of that wallet's actually insured. So that makes a significantly lower risk on it. And Coinbase specifically is insured against theft. So if you just want to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, if your Coinbase account gets hacked, Coinbase actually has insurance on it that if you lose everything to a security breach on their end, they actually have insurance and supposedly you will be able to just get paid by the insurance company for whatever you had on there. That's a very nice feature. Now, another risk of doing this, the main risk doing this is not from the outside. And that's going to be bad news potentially, maybe to you or others. The main risk is not outside of the market collapsing, of someone hacking or stealing. The main risk is inside. And that's why I've built this system. Because this system is impartial. It's not emotional. It takes out the biggest risk, which is me. I've lost thousands of dollars before I got lucky or did good research and promoted, however you want to word my success, as you might call it, with Dash. At least today, I don't know, it might be a big failure tomorrow. You never know. And eventually, all of us die. You don't get to take money with you, at least not that I'm aware of. I didn't come into this life with any money. Maybe you do get to choose your parents, and I could intentionally be born to myself and bring my inheritance in. But that's a whole nother story. Now, the biggest risk is messing it all up yourself, of getting involved, emotional, making foolish decisions, putting more money you can afford to invest, and then trying to trade and speculate. Those, to me, I see are the very biggest risk. Those are the places no one, I'm grateful to date, at least that could change in the future, no one to date has stolen or taken any money from me online. But I've found ways to lose thousands of dollars trading online cryptocurrencies. And that is one of the biggest risks, is that you can get a fat head, a big head, like I'm this super smart cryptocurrency trader. And then when whatever a thing happens, then you lose everything. You put it all into a cryptocurrency that gets delisted. The biggest risk in life tends to be me. The biggest weak point in a system tends to be me. That's why I've built this whole system up, is to show exactly how to do it while taking the biggest risk factor out. And most of us like to discount the risk factor of ourselves. We like to look at, oh, like with my Dash Masternode. Sure, someone could hack it. Someone I know could find a way to steal it. Yes, that's possible. But the biggest risk of losing it is me. My actions are likely the biggest way that it's likely to get lost. I was thinking about selling it when it was at $40. And sure, maybe in the long-term value, you might look at it and say that was good. But the bottom line is, the biggest risk to doing any strategy and to doing most anything in life is my own mind, my own self-sabotage efforts. And that's why we use systems. This is a system that I hope will help you eliminate the biggest risk. Getting involved in cryptocurrencies is a lot of fun. Getting involved in cryptocurrencies, it presents a lot of great opportunities. But the easiest way to mess it all up is for me to essentially get involved in it. So I've made this system that takes me out of it. I'm grateful now I've bought 50 of these different currencies, and you'll see I still have about the same amount I started with. And I'm grateful today to have the chance to see what happens.